Hello, my beautiful dishes. Welcome back to another episode of Dish It with Dawn. I'm your host, Marie Mutell, and today is Thriving Thursdays, Redefining Success. And today I'm going to cover a couple of quick ways that you can actually get these goals set and not just set, but attained. So, step number one is I want you to list three different things that you really want. Now, maybe it's carried over from last year that you didn't do it, or the year before, or 10 years before. But whatever they are, write them down. Write them on paper, not on a computer. I want you to put them in a notebook. So just get one notebook that's going to be for your goals. You can get it at the Dollar Tree store, or you can get it at a CVS or what have you. Just pick up something you can write in and know it's yours. But think of three different things that you really want to do. Now, they could be small things, they could be big things, they could be extravagant things. It doesn't really matter. I just want you to write down those three things. And not just professionally, but also personally. So maybe professionally, you wanted to find a new career, or you're looking to switch jobs, or you're looking to start your own business or grow your business or scale your business. And then maybe personally, let's say you're looking for a new love, or you're looking to just get a new home or a new apartment or a new car, or whatever it might be. And step number two is I want you to break each of those down into quarterly milestones so that you know, okay, the first 4 months, if I work on this, this, and this, I can get here. And then if the next 4 months I work on this, and this, I can get there. But I want you to look at the big picture and start from the end to the beginning so that you can think about all the different steps it's going to take to get there. So, for example, for when I first started doing my podcast, it was great. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do a podcast, but I had no idea what to do with podcasts. I'm like, well, what do I do? I knew I had ideas to talk about, but I didn't know anything about recording. I didn't know anything about video. I didn't know anything about editing audio or recording audio. I knew about some stuff from being a musician, but being a musician is different than doing something on camera. So I had to sit there and learn how to do all these different things. And it was a lot of work. So, and I'm just really excited that it's almost a decade that I've been doing this. But anyway, I want you to identify these things and start thinking in milestones. Okay. So you have your first quarter, your second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of the year. Because if you break it down that way, by the end of the year, you're going to get it done. And you may even get it done sooner. So depending on what that thing is, because the bigger the goal is, sometimes it takes a lot more time to achieve, but it will help you stay on target. And again, use that notebook as your base so that you can put everything there so that you forget what the heck was it that you had to do. You can go look back at the steps. Step number three, as I mentioned, you're going to have to identify some of the things you need to learn how to do to get that skill. So let's say you're starting a whole new industry, you want to move into a new industry, and maybe it's just maybe you want to become a computer programmer, but you got to learn code, right? It's not something that's just going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it and create websites or whatever. No, you have to learn, right? So maybe you're going to sign up for a class, or maybe just going to take an introductory class, because you may find out there may be some things inside of there that you don't really want to do. Didn't fit my personality, and I didn't think I would be. So take an introductory class or look at something online on YouTube. And, there's so many free things out there today. Anything you want to learn, you can. And you can start asking some comments and the questions into people to say, hey, what do you think of this, and this? And you may get some interesting responses. But in order for you to achieve those goals, you got to learn some of those skills that's going to help you move along the path, right? So don't be afraid to learn, because I always say every day is a school day, and you got to learn something new every day, because if we're not growing, then what's happening? We're wilting and we're dying. So be a learner. Learn every day. I find that it's something I've been doing for decades now. I mean, it's something I thought when I first graduated high school that I never really wanted to read a book again. Because, in my English classes, they made us read, Catcher in the Rye and all the Shakespeare's books, and it was great education. But sometimes I was just not in the mood to sit there and read. So I just decided I'm not going to do that. So I kind of did that for about a couple of years, and then I got into real estate, and my life changed from there, because I knew, like, with sales and my age, I had to like really learn the business and become more professional and things like that. So it was all about learning and how to grow within so that I could become a better human being, and how I can be stronger in what I do and all that good stuff. And the only way you're going to do that is by learning how to do it, because it's not something that we're born with, and it's not something that we're taught in school. These are things we have to learn outside of school. So a lot of people think when they're done with school, they're done. But no, it doesn't work that way. Step number four is to reward yourself for your good works. Okay. So, a lot of times we do things that are really big or monumental, and we don't even acknowledge them. What was the last thing that you did that was like, wow, I did this? Kudos, pat yourself on the back. Most times we're just moving on to the next thing and we're not appreciating the thing we just spent all this time to achieve. And then we do it. And then it's like, okay, next. So really reward yourself for the things that you do, even if it's just a simple thing like it's a goal that you've been wanting to do for the last 10 years and you finally stepped out and did something on it. Like you made a phone call towards it, or you found a book on it, or you talked to somebody about it. Give yourself a little reward. I'm not saying spend, large amounts of money, but, maybe a cupcake. Who doesn't want a sweet treat? And step number 5, my last step for today, is to create a vision board because you need to see what it is that we're trying to achieve. We have to have it in front of us at all times because you know what? If you don't see it in front of you, for starters, you're not going to remember. And having it front of mind, it's going to say, oh, yeah, you know what? I didn't do this today, or I didn't do this week, or I didn't do this month. And the clock is ticking, right? So reward yourself, whether you take yourself to a movie that you've been wanting to see, or a museum exhibit that you've been looking at, or you just take yourself out for a nice lunch somewhere. I know a lot of people don't like to dine alone, but it's something that I pushed myself because I knew when I would ask friends to do things that they weren't always available. And I thought, well, hell, if I'm going to wait on them, I'm going to miss out on those opportunities. So I started doing things on my own. I even traveled to Europe many times by myself, to the Caribbean by myself. And you know what? I had a great time. I met amazing people, tried the different cultures, and I wasn't going to let not having my crutches of my friends or my family that couldn't make it come with me and miss out on those great opportunities. And I'm so glad that I did. It also started to show me that I kind of like traveling alone because nobody's going to tell you what you can and can't do. So if you want to go to sleep at 9 o'clock at night because you want to wake up at 5:30 and you want to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro and they want to stay in bed snoring, well, you know what I mean? So don't think about not being able to do certain things because nobody else wants to do them with you. Think about spending more time to get to know yourself. And that's the only way you're going to get to know yourself is if you just spend it alone. But anyway, I digress. Let's just keep this to rewarding yourself for something that you're setting yourself on doing because you're going to keep doing it. It's like, Pavlov's dog. When you hear the bell ring, you're going to start salivating and want more. So, for those of you who don't know Pavlov's dog, it was a man who trained the dog to salivate for this food every time he rang the bell. So, every time he rang the bell, even if there was no food, the dog would start salivating, thinking he's getting that treat. And we could be that doggy and get that treat. Woof, woof. All right. Well, that's all I'm going to leave you with. If you haven't joined us over at the community on Facebook, please go to facebook.com/groups/Dish It with Dawn. And please leave me a comment. Let me know some stories that you might have done, or maybe you've reached some massive goals that you weren't really a goal setter. And then all of a sudden you started doing this stuff and you started to really achieve some amazing things. I'd love to hear about it. And so would our audience. So please don't hesitate to leave us a story and let us know. All right, remember to dish it out well and dish it out good, but make sure you're looking damn good when you do. Until the next time, ciao for